Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Titans, Season 2, Episode 9, Atonement. This was an okay episode. It was very, Gar-oriented, which I was actually totally down with. It seems like we've done a lot of flashbacks, we've learned a lot about other characters, but, Rachel and Gar have really kind of taken the side seat for this whole season. And so to see him, to see Ryan Potter again was really good. I actually really enjoyed it. So, we learned, the opening scene with, Dick confessing, hey, Jericho died because of me. And instantly breaks up the team. I was like, wow, this episode, you can clearly tell, is going to be dark. And, we've got, 4 more episodes after this. So, if it follows the, typical storytelling, this is going to be the big twist, and then from here on out, this will be the climax, and everything else will just be action, action, action to the very end. So that's what I'm expecting. We learn a little bit more about Blackfire, which is Starfire's sister, or Rory's sister. Now, I never really watched a lot of the Teen Titans TV show, the cartoon, so I don't really know a lot about Blackfire, nor did I read a ton of the comics. But from what I can gather in this episode, not a likable person. She's definitely out there to just grab the throne, and that's about it. I like the whole, if Connor wakes up, call Bruce immediately and keep the faith. I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And most of this episode is just kind of Gar going through his routine of Operation Save Titans, where he's drinking his disgusting looking vegetable stuff, and just putting post-it notes of all the different quotes of a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And to be honest with you, those types of notes do help. I have wanted to write my own novel for years. I think most people do. And I have actually posted notes along the wall, like Anne Rice. Fantastic novelist, wrote the Vampire Chronicles, was not published until she was after 30. Boom, posted that. Ian Fleming, the author of James Bond, was not published until he was older than 40. Boom, posted that. So stuff like that to just kind of inspire people to don't give up. Stuff like that. Which is part of the reason I even started making this YouTube channel. So who knows? Most YouTubers are super famous because they're young and pretty and skinny and all that noise. I just watch a lot of TV, so who knows? So, Connor waking up naked, I'm not going to complain. It was kind of an interesting scene. And it was kind of weird because, it almost had this bromance throughout the episode of Gar and Connor together. I know most people pair Gar and Rachel together because they're the relationship. If you look at some slash fiction online, it's a lot of Gar and Robin fiction online. But this episode, watching this, I was like, who knows? Maybe Gar will hook up with Connor. I don't know. Titans has touched on a lot of really dark topics like drug abuse, stuff like that, assault, but they haven't really touched on the LGBT community very much. So it'll be interesting to see if that's something they actually pursue. Hank and Dawn singing karaoke was great. Elias's sister was actually kind of unexpected. To be completely honest, I kind of forgot who he was. And I was like, the fuck is she even talking about? And I was like, oh, that's the guy that Dr. Light killed. Okay, I remember now. And it was like, okay, whatever. Like I said, Gar and Connor playing video games together was fantastic. The whole conversation with Dick and Mrs. Wilson talking about Jericho was super intense. And then when Slade finally pops up at the end, I was like, fuck, this is great. And he's like, if you put the Titans together again, I will kill everybody you know. I was like, shit. That's kind of the big climax. And you can kind of tell 4 episodes left in the season, he's going to put the Titans back together, Slade's going to come after him, and it's going to be a big war between them and him. You already know that's going to be the ending. But still, to get that setup was great. The whole thing of Gar and Connor, and then Connor fighting the cops. It kind of makes sense. Connor doesn't like cops. We get it. But it was really intense to watch him fight back and then watch Gar run away and be like, I done fucked up. I'm sorry. This is my bad. So that was great. Hank and Dawn breaking up again, because we know they got together, we know they broke up, and then Dawn got with Dick, and then they got back together at some point, and now they're... I don't know. Like, I've been in a relationship for 8 years, my longest relationship. I cannot imagine, like, that whole breakup, get together type thing. I can't do it. Like, it's too much even to think about. Blackfire taking over the guard's body, which you know from the scene where they're in the bar and he's like, clearly, like, without a doubt, I was like, oh yeah, okay, so he's Blackfire at this point. I don't know how, I don't know why, but he is. And you can even tell that Corey knows, because he's like, oh yeah, we made fun of her hair and we shortened the race, but we didn't tell her, and all these things to piss her off. And then finally when Corey like incinerates him and it's just this hologram of Blackfire, like, that was actually kind of intense. Like, I knew it was coming, but when it actually happened, I was like, shit, like, that was actually kind of cool. And then finally, when Dick is trying to leave the country and go to like Greenland or Iceland or whatever the fuck he's going, and then he just gets arrested. I'm like, okay, interesting. I'm like, because you know, in the next 4 episodes, you know he's going to become Nightwing. So I'm curious to see how him being arrested is going to tie into that. So for those who have seen this episode of Titans, what did you guys think? What do you guys hope to see in the next 4 episodes? Go ahead, let me know, and I will see you guys next time for The Fallen.